Have you ever wondered how Japanese people manage to stay slim and fit without spending hours in the gym? It's not genetics, it's lifestyle. In Japan, fitness isn't a goal. It's a natural side effect of how people live every single day. From the way they move to the way they eat, the Japanese have mastered the art of staying healthy without even trying. Here's how they do it. If you ever visit Japan, one thing becomes clear within minutes. People walk everywhere. It's not some health trend or fitness challenge, it's simply how daily life works. The country's infrastructure was built around trains and public transportation, not private cars, which naturally forces movement into everyone's day. In Tokyo, Osaka, or Kyoto, you'll rarely find someone driving just to run errands or go to work. Most people walk to the station, hop on a train, then walk again to their destination. Those short stretches easily add up to thousands of steps a day, all without consciously exercising. What makes this so powerful is the environment itself. Japanese cities are incredibly walkable, filled with narrow streets, small businesses, and countless conveniences that make walking enjoyable. You can stop for a matcha latte, browse a bookstore, or grab an onigiri from a 7-Eleven along the way. Walking isn't boring, it's an experience. The streets are clean, safe, and visually stimulating, so the simple act of going somewhere becomes a mindful part of the day rather than a chore. Even outside the big cities, walking is still part of life. In smaller towns, locals stroll through markets, visit shrines, or tend to gardens. Japan's appreciation for nature, something deeply rooted in Shinto and Buddhist culture, means walking often doubles as a way to connect with the environment. You see elderly people hiking gentle mountain trails, families exploring temples, and office workers taking evening walks after dinner. Movement and mindfulness come together naturally. And speaking of the elderly, Japan's aging population offers a living example of what lifelong walking can do. Many seniors in their 70s and 80s remain surprisingly mobile and healthy, simply because they never stopped moving. They walk to the grocery store, sweep their front steps, or meet friends in the park. Instead of working out intensely in youth and stopping later, they've lived a life of consistent, low-intensity activity, which turns out to be one of the best things you can do for long-term health. The design of Japanese neighborhoods helps too. Everything is compact, so there's always something within walking distance. Schools, shops, clinics, even gyms for those who want extra activity. Stairs are more common than escalators, and parking is limited, so it's often easier to just walk. That constant motion keeps metabolism active, muscles strong, and posture upright. Ultimately, Japan's walking culture shows that fitness doesn't need to be forced. It doesn't come from a one-hour gym session, it comes from a lifestyle that values movement as part of everyday living. Walking isn't seen as exercise, it's simply the rhythm of life. And maybe that's the real secret behind why Japanese people stay lean, energized, and healthy without even trying. When you look closely at Japanese life, you'll notice something subtle but powerful. People are almost never still for too long. The secret to their fitness isn't about chasing workouts or tracking calories, it's about building movement into every small part of the day. From how they sit and eat to how they clean and commute, the Japanese way of life turns ordinary moments into opportunities for natural exercise. Let's start at home. Traditional Japanese homes use tatami mats, low tables, and futons. This means sitting on the floor, getting up and down several times a day, and keeping flexibility through the hips and knees. It's everyday mobility training, no yoga mat required. Even household chores promote movement. Cleaning floors by hand, hanging laundry outside, sweeping with a broom. These tasks engage muscles and joints in ways most modern lifestyles ignore. There's no robot vacuum doing it all, the person is part of the process. When it comes to commuting, movement continues. Most people take public transport, which means walking to the station, standing on the train, and walking again afterward. Many stations have multiple stairways, and elevators are often reserved for those who truly need them. Without realizing it, millions of Japanese people get a mini-leg workout every morning and evening. At school and work, activity is built in too. Students participate in morning stretches called radio taiso, a short group exercise routine broadcast nationwide since the 1920s. It's only a few minutes long, but it keeps flexibility and posture in check. Adults carry this same discipline into their work life. Office workers are encouraged to stand during calls, stretch regularly, and walk during breaks. Even small details, like walking to lunch instead of ordering in, keep movement consistent. Social culture also reinforces activity. Community events often involve physical participation, neighborhood cleanups, festivals, temple gatherings, and gardening clubs. These activities build both fitness and connection. Movement isn't something you do alone in a gym, it's something you do with others as part of everyday living. The cumulative effect of these small, natural movements is enormous. Instead of burning out with short bursts of high-intensity exercise, Japanese people benefit from continuous, low-impact activity that strengthens the body and supports longevity. This approach helps maintain lean muscle, balance, and mobility, key reasons why Japan has one of the world's longest life expectancies. The takeaway is simple. Staying fit doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need expensive memberships or fancy gear. You just need to keep moving, cleaning, walking, stretching, standing, like the Japanese do every single day. It's not exercise. It's a lifestyle that proves consistency beats intensity every time. One of the most underrated reasons Japanese people stay fit is how their physical environment keeps them moving. Japan's cities and homes are designed around compact, efficient living, and that design quietly shapes behavior. When space is limited, movement becomes a natural part of the routine. Small apartments mean you're constantly getting up, rearranging, reaching, or storing things. Even household chores require more effort simply because every inch of space counts. In most Japanese homes, storage areas are tucked away, and furniture tends to be low to the ground. This encourages frequent bending, squatting, and kneeling, movements that keep joints flexible and the core engaged. Sitting on the floor to eat or watch TV may seem simple, but it subtly maintains hip and leg strength, especially compared to spending hours in a Western-style chair. It's everyday mobility training disguised as relaxation. Then there's the layout of the neighborhoods themselves. Everything is built closer together. Grocery stores, schools, clinics, and parks are often within walking distance. Instead of long drives, people rely on bicycles or their own 2 feet. Even cities like Tokyo, despite their massive population, are filled with narrow streets, stairs, and small alleys that naturally keep you active. It's movement built into urban design. Compact living also reduces dependence on convenience. Without large refrigerators or pantries, many households shop for fresh food daily, meaning another walk to the store. Without huge washers or dryers, people hang laundry outside, lifting, stretching, and bending along the way. These little tasks may not feel like exercise, but collectively, they keep metabolism running and muscles in use. This design philosophy comes from necessity. Japan's geography leaves limited room for sprawling homes and wide roads, but that limitation turned into a health advantage. Instead of isolating people in large, car-dependent suburbs, compact living keeps communities connected and physically engaged. In a world that often equates fitness with equipment and routines, Japan's approach is refreshingly simple. Their environment doesn't force exercise, it invites it. Every errand, every movement inside a small apartment, every walk through a narrow street adds up. The result is a population that stays mobile, flexible, and healthy without ever needing to work out. Of course, movement alone isn't the full story. One of the biggest reasons Japanese people stay fit is how they eat. The traditional Japanese diet is built around balance, moderation, and mindfulness. 3 things that naturally prevent overeating and support long-term health. Meals in Japan are smaller, lighter, and more colorful than typical Western portions. A standard meal might include rice, fish, miso soup, and a few vegetable side dishes, all served in small bowls. Instead of one large plate piled with food, each dish has its own space, encouraging slower eating and natural portion control. By the time you finish, you're satisfied, not stuffed. The variety also matters. Japanese cuisine emphasizes seasonal ingredients and multiple textures: soft tofu, crunchy pickles, flaky fish, warm soup, which keeps meals interesting and fulfilling. There's less reliance on processed foods or heavy sauces, and more focus on freshness and presentation. Eating becomes an experience, not just fuel. Another key principle is hara hachi bu, a Confucian teaching that means eat until you're 80% full. It's a simple but powerful mindset that prevents the habit of overeating. Instead of eating until you can't move, you stop when you're comfortably satisfied. This small act of mindfulness contributes enormously to maintaining a healthy weight without calorie counting. Japan's culture also avoids the extremes common in other countries. There's no obsession with fad diets, detoxes, or high-protein trends. People enjoy sweets, snacks, and fried foods in moderation, but balance is always the goal. Even the way food is served helps. Smaller plates and chopsticks naturally slow the pace, allowing the brain to register fullness before you overeat. Lastly, eating in Japan is social and ritualistic. Meals are shared, appreciated, and eaten with gratitude. You'll often hear "itadakamasu" before eating, a small phrase that reflects respect for the food and effort behind it. This gratitude transforms eating from mindless consumption into a moment of awareness. Together, these habits create a culture of balance rather than restriction. It's not about dieting, it's about harmony between portions, nutrition, and appreciation. And that's why, even in a world filled with fast food and convenience, Japanese people manage to stay slim and healthy the natural way. At the heart of Japan's health and fitness lies something deeper than walking or diet. It's discipline and mindfulness woven into everyday life. Japanese culture has long emphasized balance, respect, and self-control, and these values show up in everything from how people eat to how they move and even how they think about health. Fitness isn't treated as a separate task, it's seen as a reflection of one's way of living. From an early age, Japanese children are taught structure and routine. Schools emphasize cleanliness, order, and teamwork. Students clean their own classrooms, serve lunches, and participate in group exercises, not because they have to, but because it builds a sense of respect for their environment and for themselves. These habits may seem small, but they form a lifelong mindset. Stay active, take responsibility, and maintain harmony with your surroundings. It's discipline that feels natural, not forced. That same mindset carries into adulthood. Whether it's a worker catching the morning train or a grandmother tending her garden, there's an underlying awareness of time, effort, and consistency. People rarely rush through tasks carelessly. Instead, there's a concept known as kaizen, meaning continuous improvement, the idea that small, steady actions every day lead to big results over time. It's applied in factories, offices, and homes alike, and it quietly shapes Japan's approach to health, too. Rather than chasing instant results or quick fixes, the Japanese focus on daily consistency. A 15-minute walk today, a lighter dinner tomorrow, little choices that compound into lasting wellness. Mindfulness plays a major role as well. The Japanese approach to life often draws from Zen Buddhism, which teaches presence in each moment. Whether someone is preparing tea, arranging flowers, or cooking dinner, there's attention to detail and purpose in the act. This same awareness extends to eating and movement. Meals are eaten slowly, appreciated fully, and rarely multitasked. Walking isn't rushed. It's often peaceful and reflective. Even posture and gestures are carried with intention. In a sense, mindfulness becomes a form of meditation in motion, keeping both body and mind in sync. Another key cultural influence is respect for oneself, others, and the body. In Japan, being well-groomed and presentable is seen as a sign of self-respect. Taking care of your body isn't about vanity, it's about showing consideration for the people around you. That's why you'll rarely see public displays of laziness or overindulgence. The social norm quietly encourages self-discipline, without shaming, just expectation. Even in leisure, mindfulness prevails. Activities like gardening, calligraphy, martial arts, or tea ceremonies are slow, precise, and physically engaging. They may not burn as many calories as a gym workout, but they cultivate focus, coordination, and calm, essential ingredients for both mental and physical well-being. In short, the Japanese stay fit because their culture rewards consistency over chaos. Discipline isn't punishment, it's peace through routine. Mindfulness isn't a practice, it's a way of life. Together, they create a nation where people don't just live long, they live with purpose, grace, and balance. So, the secret behind Japan's natural fitness isn't hidden in a gym or a fancy diet plan, it's in their way of living. The walking culture, compact homes, balanced meals, and quiet discipline all blend into a lifestyle that keeps people healthy without ever chasing health. It's proof that you don't need extreme workouts or strict meal plans to stay fit. You just need habits that keep your body moving, your mind mindful, and your life in balance. Maybe that's the real lesson we can take from Japan. Fitness doesn't have to be something you schedule. It can simply be how you live every day.